I think we just have this perception that only Americans are fat still.
Where else can you get 64 ounces of soda somewhere and just in a cup?
That's true. Americans are definitely the most excessive. The big gulp.
The big gulp.
Give me them supersized fries. McDonald's got stop that shit. But those fries were massive. Actually, I never got a chance to buy a supersize. I was a poor kid at that time, but I wish I had me some supersize just to say I did it.
On to our next topic. A little bit of a sensitive topic for most. Watched a YouTube video, and the title of the YouTube video is "Stop Accommodating the Morbidly Obese." And just a little quick thing of the video, it's just saying, like, you know, people in planes or going to certain vacation spots, like, we shouldn't have to try to comfort them as much or accommodate them to, like, special needs, like a bigger toilet or more, you know, extended seat arms or whatever. So that's the video we're going to talk about and discuss and get our views of what we think about it.
So this is a reaction video from your mom's house, I think it's called, podcast with there's two comedians on there, and they're married. I think it's Tom Segura, and then his wife. And Tom Segura used to be heavy, like he lost a lot of weight. And it's just them mostly bagging on fat people for the entire 14 minutes. Like, it's just shitting on fat people. But I think they make a few points that are, you know, is true. And I think for the most part, what they're saying is true. But I think also you got...
So, like, what are they saying that you think is true in particular?
Just planes are made at a size for where the seat will accommodate most size people. Like, if you don't fit into that most size type, then I just think it's weird because we don't say this about tall people, right? And if we have to make accommodations for tall people, short people, stuff like that, it seems only natural that you would make accommodations for fat people. But I think
and not to equate the two. I mean, one, you can't really change your height or you know what I mean? But yeah, for sure.
So I think I do think obese people have an issue where they choose to be this way, right? Like, this is a choice. I don't think you can put your choice on other people. She says that she's broken toilets. She says that she has the equipment on the beach is made out of plastic, and she's broken the seats at the beach. And Tom Segura's like, yeah, you should like, am I gonna break this chair? You should be worried about this. He's like, I once sat on a child's chair and I felt like I was gonna break it, so I stood up.
I'm of two minds, right? On one end, I don't disagree that, like, we're never gonna be able to create everything to accommodate everybody. There's gonna be people that are just not gonna make the cut. So if you're 400 pounds, maybe you can't fly an airplane unless you buy 2 seats. Maybe you can't go ziplining or something. You know what I mean? That's unfortunate, but, you know, whatever. Like, it's just not gonna be cost effective for a business to basically accommodate all these different sizes. On the other end of it, what my problem with the video is just the amount of fat shaming. It just doesn't work. Shaming people about being fat doesn't help them lose weight. I guess it just makes you feel good that you get to make fun of a person. Yeah. And I don't know, the whole video, I just felt like, all right, these people I think are just shitty people. That was like, and I get Tom Segura as a comedian. The shit wasn't even comedy. he was just shit talking this woman for being fat. And
He's like, because there was one part where she was like, when we go on vacation, you know, they come with packages and you can go on excursions or parasailing, but there's weight limits. And he's like, yeah, you want to go parasailing? 450? Yeah, we're gonna try to keep this boat planted in the water. I'm like, oh, this is so foul. It's like he was just reaching very low. Like it was just like, oh no, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. And they were just snickering and laughing the entire time. And they felt like fat people should be shamed. And I understand like the want to, you know, guilt trip somebody, and maybe that feels good. But for me, it was never the way, you know what I mean? That worked. It just didn't work for me like that. And I'm still trying to learn, you know, still trying to lose weight, very conscious of it. How do you feel when people are, how do you feel about the people who do feel like they, you know, people shouldn't, he says, oh, you should sit first class if you want a bigger seat. How do you feel about that? Like, should they just pay up if they are
yeah, sort of. Like I said, they're not going to be able to make chairs for every sized person. It sucks because it's like, like basically somebody who happens to be fat and broke, they just can't fly. You know what I mean? Because they maybe can't afford 2 seats, or they can't afford a first class seat. I don't know what you do for that. Like, there's going to be an amount of space that'll be taken up by a bigger chair, and you're going to have to pay. That chair is obviously going to cost more money because they could have sold more tickets for a smaller person. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I don't disagree with the point. My main issue was just how happy they were that this fat person couldn't even get on the plane. They loved it. And I'm just like, you guys are shitty. Like, you guys are just shitty people. That's it. Yeah. Like, one thing that, taking the conversation in a slightly different avenue, I do think there's a conversation to be had in terms of like this, what you call, like this health at every size thing. I think it's completely fucking ridiculous. Like, if you're 500 pounds, there's no universe where we could call you healthy, physically healthy. Maybe you got good mental health or whatever. Yeah. But like physically healthy, like there's no universe where we could say that. I get loving yourself regardless of how big you are. Or, you know, whatever.
I get that. I get that. Like, you should love yourself, and I think that's the beginning of you accepting that you have to change because you love yourself. I think that's like a route to take, because I think a lot of people who, because I struggled with my weight for a long time. I took steroids when I was a kid, so it made me very big at a young age, and then it was very hard to like shed that weight. So even for me, I had to learn how to love myself first, and now I'm on the road to making healthier decisions. But there is a mental health aspect. Some of these people are mentally ill, and you are looking like they said, you're looking at their issue. It's weight. That's how they don't know how to manage that aspect, whether it be anxiety driven and stuff like that. So I think there's like a mental health aspect to it, and I think in order to get someone to lose weight, you have to get them to love themselves and want to make that decision.
For sure. Yeah, I'm all on board with getting people to love themselves and stuff like that. The health at every size thing, I don't. There's like a number of fat movements that I just can't get on board with. As a fat guy, I'll tell you that I'm unhealthy. I'm working on my health, but I'm unhealthy. It just is what it is. Yeah. The idea that I could walk around and be like, I am healthy is like, come on. And the whole BMI thing. The people that hate there's people that hate BMI. They hate it. They're like, oh, it reinforces white supremacy and this. It's like, just shut up. You're 400 pounds. you're unhealthy. Like you shouldn't be nitpicking about whether BMI is an accurate way to measure somebody's health. You got weight problems right now. Once you get to a place where you think you're actually, well, not when you think. Once you get to a place where you're actually physically healthy, but the BMI says you're still fat or something, then we could start nitpicking about whether BMI is a good indicator of health or a good indicator of being a good body size. Because people have different body types. There's people that are just like got bigger bones than other people, so they're just gonna have they're gonna have more weight on them. And there's never going to be, just like you're never going to get one size fits all for a chair, you're never going to get one size fits all for some like health standard. There's always going to be people that lie outside of the norm. But nobody should look at it and be like, oh, well, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's healthy, but according to BMI, he's obese. No one should ever look at that and say, the whole system is broken. Again, it's that everything needs to be perfect in order to accept it mentality. And it's like, it's just never going to exist. Anybody who is within their BMI is probably healthy. They're probably healthy. Like, yeah, they may have diabetes. They might have they might have been born with diabetes, or they might have cancer, or they might have HIV or something like that makes them unhealthy. But if you're just like a person that has no ailments and you're within the right range of BMI, you're probably going to live longer than people that are outside of the range of BMI. Like, it's just as a general rule. Not saying it's a perfect thing. It seems to be a decent way to just quickly say, oh, okay, you're outside this range. All right, maybe you need to do some health things. But I mean, if you look at somebody and they got a whole shitload of muscle, you're not going to look at them and be like, oh, you need to lose weight. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think the doctors are really doing this thing. I think there's a lot of 300, 400 something pound people that want to make themselves feel good, so they're shitting on the whole BMI as an aspect. That's what I actually think. But.
Yeah, facts. Fat people just need to understand we're big. We can do something about it to fix it. Let's not blame others for our misfortunes or like anything to like, oh, that's not how it should operate. Like, no, like I get it. There are some medical conditions what makes you bigger.
Yeah, you can have thyroids, and there's invisible disabilities as well, where on the outside it doesn't look like there's anything wrong, but on the inside they have like a thyroid issue or something like that. And I'm not talking about those people.
Yeah, I'm talking about the regular fat people.
Yeah, normal fat people. And I think there is a responsibility aspect, and I think some people are irresponsible to the point where they think other people should be responsible for them, and I think that's a big issue.
In the video,
I do think one thing though, like, not saying that it's like an excuse to not do anything, because at the end of the day, we only live one life. You should try to be the healthiest you could be, the most successful you could, right? You should strive to be better, be good, right? But like for me, as an example, right, I was obese when I was a child. Like, I didn't really have control over that. Like, you know what I mean? I was eating the food that my parents or my elders are giving me. I was eating the food that was available to me and things like that. So it's like I didn't really have the wherewithal at that time to be like, oh, I can't eat this much, or I can't eat this is unhealthy, blah blah blah. So by the time I even had a thought of like of making my own choices, making my own food, making my own money, I was way obese. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was basically starting from way behind. And it's just hard to lose weight. Like it is simple to do. Just eat less calories than your body burns. It's a very simple concept, right? But it's just not easy. There's a lot of mental health factors involved. Like, there's a reason why I think the statistics say like anybody who's obese as a child, there's only like a 1 or 2% chance that they'll ever not be obese. So it's just like the idea that, oh, just go and lose the weight and stuff. It's true. We should go and lose the weight and all that stuff. It just doesn't seem to be easy for anybody who has that issue. You know what I mean? Like, almost no one is doing it. Like, the only people that are, the people that are doing it are the exception. You know what I mean? So it's like, whatever we're doing right now ain't working. We need to do something else to encourage and help people lose weight.
What if we? This is gonna sound insensitive and really fucked up. What if we created like a fat security that you can hire, where niggas will run? They won't necessarily follow you, but they'll follow you and watch you. And then when you're about to make a decision, they make, put the donut down, put it down.
Some people need
Get
that
the
shit.
sprinkles out.
Because they have your calorie intake tracker, and once you hit the caloric intake for the day, they just run up on you with guns, and they're just with you, ready to shoot you the second you try to eat one more sprinkle. You try to put one more sprinkle in your mouth, they're gonna shoot you in your fat fucking face. So, you know what I'm saying? That'll be fire. Especially if you hire them yourself. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody should be imposing this on you, because this is America, okay? This is the land of the free.
Non-lethal rounds, like some non-lethal shit.
Put the donut down. Imagine.
I don't know. I think I think America has a problem. I think Americans are fatter than most people in the world. I think we have a weight issue over here.
I don't even think that's true anymore. All across Europe, people are getting fat as hell.
Awesome.
It's I don't know how awesome it is. It's terrible, but it seems to be like all the first world countries, or all the countries that have like a high socioeconomic like standard, people are just getting obese. So like people in Germany, like all across Europe, people are starting to get really fat, and I think in some of those countries they're even fatter than America now. I think we just have this perception that only Americans are fat still.
You could where else can you get 64 ounces of soda somewhere and just in a cup?
That's true. Americans are definitely the most excessive. The big gulp.
The big gulp.
The super. Give me them super sized fries. McDonald's got stop that shit. But those fries were massive. Actually, I never got a chance to buy a super size. I was a poor kid at that time. I didn't really buy fast food. But I wish I had me some super size just to say I did it.
There was one time where they sold a bucket of fries. I couldn't believe it, bro.
McDonald's,
right? Bucket of fries. Yes.
Yeah, that's
like, so I feel like America kind of has an issue here where we're just, even if you go to the frozen food sections, like these fucking creations that they're making, it's like it's sausage, egg, and cheese infused with syrup and maple syrup and stuff like that. I'm like, how did you get the maple syrup in there?
But no, yeah, I mean, it is a problem. And, you know, with people being big or obese, as you say, yeah, I mean, no one should definitely, only you can fix that, right? Like, nobody else. You can blame it on whoever you want, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's stuffing it in your mouth, putting it in your body, and not being actively outside. Like, I'm a big guy. I know why and how I'm big. Like, I know how I got there, obviously. I don't blame nobody for it. But, you know, I'm obviously started a better life trend and going to the gym and tracking my calories and eating better food and drinking a heck more water, putting the, you know, obviously I'm not a big soda drinker to begin with, but, you know, putting all that away and putting the alcohol down and just things you can do little by little that will better your life, and you'll lose weight at the end of it. You just got to stick with it, though. You know, you can't be on some, I eat good for 1 week and then boom, double quarter pounder, boom, Big Mac, boom, chicken nuggets, Wendy fries, Wendy's frosty. You know, those are the things where, I mean, there's some people that only eat fast food and they're skinny and healthy. But they work out. I wouldn't
say healthy. I would say like their metabolism is faster.
Look at Chad Ochocinco. This man said he only eats McDonald's. He says his whole entire career he's only ate McDonald's, never been hurt, never injured, and none of this. And he said it's because
that's gotta be bullshit.
I think it is for sure.
He's a millionaire. You tell him he's still only eating at McDonald's? What
this is
hell?
what he says on the podcast that he's on.
I think he's a liar.
Yeah,
I would say so too.
He specifically looks like he's lied about some shit. I gotta be completely honest. There's a reason why he's not in football anymore, right? The guy got fucking ejected. They're like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, I mean, he retired, but yeah, I mean, I don't think.
No, but he was still playing in like some other league for a hot minute because the NFL didn't want him anymore.
I'm just saying you can consume any type of food you want with a balance. Like you know, if you eat too much carbs or too much pasta or you know what I'm saying, too much hot sauce, that can mess up your stomach lining. Everything in moderations you can eat. You don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to get away from red meat, only eat chicken or only eat fish or be a vegan, whatever the heck that is, or you know, do this. What's that other diet that you did, Pucho, a long time ago? The keto diet, was it?
Keto, yeah.
All this crap. You just eat in moderations and not a huge amount at one time, and then don't work out or do something actively for 30 minutes at least a day. You being a golden. You know what I mean? Like just riding bikes in your neighborhood. That's actively doing something.
Yeah, but I mean, different diets work for different people. Like
that is true.
Like
yes,
for example, like eating smaller portions might not work for somebody because they might still feel hungry, and they gotta tweak that diet to eat foods that have basically makes them feel full for longer.
And by diets, we're not meaning. I'm not saying like change your whole food thing. I'm saying like
I'm just saying you don't need to do a diet or like keto, all that crap. All you got to do is eat small portions. It's not exactly that simple. Like for some people, options, it's obviously you just got to eat less calories than you burn. That is the truth. It doesn't matter. You could eat one meal a day at any time you want, so long as you're hitting your caloric intake for the day. For whatever goal you want to reach, you should reach that goal, you know, excluding any kind of like metabolism issues or thyroid issues or things like that. But I mean, different diets work for different people. So I mean, I don't disagree that there's a lot of fad diets that are just bad, and there's a lot of pseudoscience when it comes to like weight loss and things like that. Like, do this at this time, then do that, and it's just a lot of BS. People are just trying to sell something to you. It really just comes down to find out how many calories your body burns, eat an amount less than that, and you'll lose proportional to roughly how much you're cutting in calories. Yep. So I think they say like it's like about 3,500 calories is a pound. So if you just eat 500 calories less per day, you'll lose 1 pound a week.
That's pretty good. 52 a year. It's pretty good.
Right. Yeah. It's very slow, but I mean, there's gains. So anybody lose 52 pounds,
you're gonna notice
a lot better.
Yeah. I gotta admit, before I got on my bike, I was very unhealthy. And just getting on my bike, just that has helped me so much. It feels really good to be on the other side of that, and I'm excited to go further on my bike. I'm excited to lose more weight on my bike.
You rode 50 something miles the other day, right?
54 on the 5-borough bike tour. Yeah,
that's fire.
Yeah, surprisingly, cycling is pretty dangerous, man. A lot of people got taken out. Yeah, no, it's a lot of people.
How many people died?
No, nobody died. They just got into, they fell off their bike, their dehydration, stuff like that. There was like a pothole on the FDR somebody hit.
Were there any issues with trucks?
No. For the most part, the whole thing was closed. It was a closed course for the most part. I see. So we didn't have any issues with that.
So all the problems happened because of the bikers themselves. So bikes were the problem.
And not that there were a problem, is that there was a lot of accidents. A lot of people got hurt.
But it was just only because of the bikes.
Only, yeah. But not like, I didn't see any, I think maybe one of them was somebody else had caused somebody else to crash, but every other one of them was just one person on the ground, and like the marshals were attending them, and they had like medics there and stuff like that.
So it was all self-inflicted or bike-on-bike violence.
Yeah.
Oh, so bikes were the problem.
Bikes with the problem.
Yeah, but for sure. But I think when you get 60,000 people riding at the same time, I think you're gonna run into some injuries.
No, for sure. I'm just kidding.
With especially
you just won't even say the bike.
Yeah, he doesn't want to say yeah.
Bikes are the problem in that situation.
There we go.
There.
It was just us. It
There was
wasn't
only
like
bikes. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, it was us,
That's
and
good.
then
Hopefully, a lot of people didn't get hurt though.
it was the infrastructure.
Oh,
There
we go.
You guys, but it was a close course. You guys didn't have to deal with any like traffic signals or anything like that.
Some
right?
places they had people doing traffic.
And were there a lot of big people or obese people riding bikes out there?
There was a lot of people. There was a lot of big people. It was cool, and they were holding their own. Going up the Queensboro Bridge is not easy, bro. It's a pretty high grade elevation, and I saw some fat people, some little porkies out there doing their thing. Shout out to them. They look good. I was proud of them. There's a big movement in New York right now, especially with fat people like getting on bikes, and it's just a healthy thing to do, bro. You get yourself moving, and
I did find it.
I'd like to see like statistics on how like obese New York City was to how it is now, comparing when they introduced the city bikes. Like, how did the health change in New York City? I'm actually interested in that.
It's they just reached 15 years or 12 years or something like that. City Bike just got, and they did a report. I'll send it to you. It was even hard to get it rolled out, but now that it's out, it's
but like, are New Yorkers healthier now?
I don't know if there's like a overall healthier, but I know streets are safer for cyclists now in the past 10 or 15 years.
Yeah. I'm just talking about their physical like weight. Like the average New Yorker weighed 300 pounds. Now the average is like 280 pounds. And there may be other factors, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But like the city bike, I just want to know if it has had a positive impact. Because I would think
I would say
it would get more people active. But
I would say yes.
I did find it odd though, because height does play an important role of how fat you look. And like when I went to New York and we were riding around those bikes, mind you, your bike is way like it just doesn't even compare to the crap I was riding. But you zipping through and me trying to keep up was tiring. I'm not gonna lie, I was tired, and I was just like, damn, like this big bitch is bigger than me and is outclassing me on this bike. Mind you, it's the bike, but you still got to pedal. And it was just like, it just shows you like no matter the weight, like people can have, stamina, more stamina than the other person.
Yeah.
So
it's giving me more stamina, more endurance. It's cool.
I think just any way or form of being active will help out any fat person.
It gets the blood flowing. It's, you know what I mean? It gets the blood moving.
Yeah.
Always go to the doctor beforehand and like check if all this working out is actually good for you, because some people, you know what I mean, you got to always go to the doctor and get checked out and stuff like that, especially if you're going to do a lot of like heavy weightlifting, stuff like that. You never know what your cholesterol levels are like, whether it's safe or not.
I still think any type of workout is good. I don't know. I don't think
for sure working out is a net positive, but I heard that before you start doing like, even you should get checked out by the doc. That's why they always send you to get what's that stuff called?
I get a wellness check twice a year, every year. I get my blood.
It's called something when you
physical.
Physical, yeah. There you go.
You said a wellness check. Like
no, that's
calling him to make sure he doesn't commit suicide.
No, wellness check is it's all. It includes all of that. Like physical. You get your blood taken. All that. Like I get my blood taken at least 3 times a year. And that's just, to keep up and make sure everything's good, my cholesterol, everything. But
do blood work 3 times a year?
Yeah, I think 2, honestly. I think 3 is exaggeration. I do it 2 times a year.
That's a lot.
No, not really. I think the average blood drawn is around 1 to 2, I think, to be honest.
The average?
Yeah, like if 1,000 people.
I would think it's probably less, but
think 1 to 0.
There's people they don't have health insurance. They don't go to the doctor.
Well, all right. So the people who have health insurance, but either way,
I think even health insurance only be covering like one, like your annual checkup is automatically covered. After that,
I don't pay for any of my blood work,
Anyways.
But whatever. Yeah, that's whatever. Just get checked is the whole point of it. Just get checked out yearly, and that way you know where you're at, and you could just change your habits and live longer, pretty much.